Conflict and chaos seemed to be everywhere in 2023. Friendships were broken, and a league that had been steady was thrown into a state of total war. Before the season even began, the controversy of 2022 spilled over onto the tables of Gordon Ramsay's steakhouse in Atlantic City. Clear the Deck and John Taffer seemed to set aside long-standing beef as they met in person for the first time since last year's falling out. However, a turn of events at dinner was a sign of things to come.
There's always been a problem. Tell them I personally am upset. You mind? Go ahead.
Everyone seemed to be on the move in 2023. Fresh off a second World Championship, the Sultans of Swing relocated to the sun-drenched shores of Florida, joining John Taffer as two teams now made their home in the Sunshine State. A burst pipe spilled onto Swinging Johnson's, who was a last-minute scratch on draft day. This would set the table for the Belmar BJs, who heroically filled in for the Swinging Johnsons as a last-minute replacement and made the most of the opportunity, proving to be a formidable opponent. Shockingly, Florida would briefly add a third team during the year as the bad blood would rise to the surface again early in the season, with Clear the Deck being ejected from the league following another war of words with Taffer.
Mike wants to come on. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. All right, guys, listen.
Zach is
out. Okay. Wow. Oh. All right. I don't know what happened. I know he's out, though. So
Zach is
gone. I don't know what happened. I don't know anything yet. I'm shocked to have to admit. I don't know any details of anything.
This opened the door for new management, and Clear the Deck became Big Nilla. However, the new administration proved to be short-lived. Midway through the season, John Taffer announced his retirement from the league at season's end, triggering a domino effect that saw Nilla relinquish management back to Clear the Deck for the remainder of 2023. Taffer's season was in a tailspin that he desperately tried to turn around with a series of trades. This proved to be in vain as the turmoil took its toll, and both John Taffer and Clear the Deck would miss the postseason in 2023. Several other clubs would join these two in the bottom of the standings as the season wore on. Injuries took their toll on the Hit Dogs, and despite a second-half surge, they would miss the playoffs in 2023. McCutcheon's Nuggets would also stumble out of the gate. A frantic series of trades with Taffer proved too little too late, as they failed to qualify for postseason play for the second straight year.
Is losing fun? No. What are you having fun for?
If the bottom of the standings were a guessing game, the top of the standings was a picture of consistent excellence. The Bullschweizers, Big Cleve, and the Sultans of Swing held firmly to the top three positions in the standings for the majority of the year, and by season's end, the trio would be responsible for 7 of the last 9 championships. Joining these three in the playoffs were Pink Sink Brown Pipes, who overcame the injury to slugger Aaron Judge and helped guide the team to a second straight playoff berth. In the absence of 2019 champion Swinging Johnsons, the Belmar BJs shook off the expansion rust and quickly established themselves as a dangerous foe. Behind a powerful lineup, The BJs earned themselves the 4 seed in their very first year in Henball. But no team had a turnaround like that of the bottom feeders. After a heartbreaking finals loss in 2022, the early part of 2023 was not kind to the bottom feeders, but in one of the most consequential trades in league history. All-star Ronald Acuna was acquired from the first-place Bullschweizers and helped turn the season in the right direction.
You what? You made a deal for a fucking
Ronald Acuna.
without even checking with me? Are you crazy? Are you crazy?
Battle plans were drawn up for the home stretch as the clubs worked their way through the dog days of summer. By the All-Star break, the top 5 clubs were all but locked into the postseason. The final few weeks would come down to a fight for the 6th and final playoff spot, as well as a battle for the all-important 2 seed and first round bye.
Does number 2 work for? Who does number 2 work for?
All eyes now focused on the final week of the regular season. After the dust settled, the Bullschweizers joined Big Cleve after locking up the final bye on the final day of the regular season.
You were going to take me the distance. You were going to take the title. I was going to be history. Well, here I am. Better looking, the best looking man alive today. Custom made from head to toe.
This meant the defending champion Sultans of Swing would begin their title defense against a familiar foe.
You'll be fucking with the wrong man, my friend!
The Acuna acquisition proved to be the spark that ignited the fuse in the bottom feeders' second-half surge. Now they set out to settle a score that had been lingering for a year by eliminating the Sultans of Swing and ending any dreams of a repeat.
You fucking dare! You fucking dare!
The other first-round matchup saw Pink Sink Brown Pipes, who had steadily navigated choppy seas even after losing first-round slugger. Aaron Judge for much of the year take on last-minute fill-in Belmar BJs, who surprised many by appearing in the playoffs in their inaugural campaign. Behind a potent lineup, the BJs jumped out to an early lead they would ride all the way to the second round. Waiting for the excitement and exuberance of the Belmar BJs were the Bullschweizers, a club well-seasoned with playoff experience, seeking to end an uncharacteristic championship drought. In contrast to the BJs lineup, the Bullschweizers were fueled by a top-tier pitching staff. The stable of arms and post-season experience proved to be too much for the rookie club to handle.
55 burgers, 55 fries, 55 tacos, 55 pies, 55 cokes, 100 cater tots, 100 pizzas, 100 tenders, 100 meatballs, 100 coffees, 55 wings, 55 shakes, 55 pancakes, 55 pasta.
And the Bullschweizers were on their way to an amazing 8th finals appearance.
Because he found out that
Fantasy baseball.
the greatest sport of all can be a cold, cold world.
After defeating a playoff rival in round 1, the bottom feeders would need to do so again to stay alive. This time, the challenge would come from top-seeded Big Cleve, who boasted a balanced attack that led the league in wins.
So I just did the whole thing on Shohei Ohtani. I don't know if you saw, and you're saying you want more out of this guy. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying I want more, but it's you can't do it in just a couple of seasons where people are ready to crown him the greatest player of all time.
I'm afraid it's necessary.
Unfortunately for Big Cleve, it was Groundhog Day as the red-hot bottom feeders clubbed their way to a second straight trip to the finals. The Bullschweizers and bottom feeders arrived at championship's doorstep from different directions. The bottom feeders eliminated the defending champions and top seed and now tried to climb one last hill for a title that had eluded them for so long. The Bullschweizers were determined to cement an already historic legacy with a 4th world championship. Only one would achieve their goal. The fuse that Acuna and company had lit was snuffed out by the cunning and savvy of the Bullschweizers, who ambushed the bottom feeders early in the week. taking a lead they would never relinquish. 2023 was a season unlike any other. Teams were unpredictable and volatile on and off the field. In the winds of change, the one constant was the only team who had the right to call themselves a dynasty.
Take a look at it, guy. Woo! Bill, the world champion. And
The bottom feeders are
so beat up and so gun shy, I don't expect to ever see him in the title picture for a long, long time.